Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back. This is the Granada preview. Hope you guys are all doing well. Just as I adjust my chair there. Manchester United back in action in the Europa League. 2-0 up against Granada after the first leg. A good away win for the Reds, which means we go into this leg looking like heavy favourites to be going through to the semi-final stage where we will take on Ajax or Roma. Roma currently leading after the first leg in Holland. So, big opportunity for Manchester United to be getting through to another semi-final. Obviously, every time we've reached a semi-final under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his guidance so far, we've failed to get through to the final. But we're feeling in good spirits after that victory over Spurs. And despite the fact we have got a lot of players that are out at the moment for various reasons, we should be going into this game looking strong, looking confident, and looking to get a win. And we should definitely be going through. There's no excuses whatsoever to not be going through, especially after we saw what we saw from Granada in the first leg. Now, no doubts they can be better. No doubts they can put on better performances and defend better than they did. But you'd imagine United should be going through in this. So we'll be looking at the 11. Will Ole be bringing the changes as we hear about a few players that are out for Manchester United and could be out? We've obviously got a lot of suspensions as well. Axel Twanzebe could be getting a start. I'll be giving you my predicted 11. Will Amad Diallo be involved? Will Fish, one of the younger players, has been added to the squad, the Europa League squad. We saw that Anthony Elanga had been added to the team last week and travelled with the squad to Granada. So obviously we're seeing a few more younger players integrated into the squad, but I wouldn't expect to see many of them start. We saw what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did after the Real Sociedad game, 4-0 up, going to Old Trafford. He still started Bruno Fernandes in that game. Yes, he took him off after 45 minutes, but he did still go very... Now, I'm hoping we don't play Bruno Fernandes. We keep him on the bench, reserve him, just in case we do need him, but hopefully he can get a rest ahead of the Brighton game. I know we've got next week, we've got no game in the midweek, and that's obviously good because we can rest and recuperate and get the players in training and maybe work on a few things, but try and give Bruno Fernandes a rest. We're also hearing Marcus Rashford picked up a knock in training, and if he's going to be fit for this one or is back in training tomorrow, we can't be risking Marcus Rashford. It's as simple as that. We just can't be risking Marcus Rashford. I'm sick of us playing him when he's got an injury. I'm sick of us trying to, get something out of him when, we should just be leaving him out, giving him a rest when we can. He's one of those players we should be wrapping up in cotton wool and being allowed to be given a rest when we're in a position like this in the Europa League. We got another game at the weekend against Brighton. And yes, we have given ourselves a great opportunity with the results that we've had recently. We still need to be making sure that we're resting these players for those Premier League games, because the Premier League games are vital still. We need to make sure we get that second spot, try and close that gap as much as possible to City and make it look respectable before going into next season. A strong finish to the Premier League campaign could real boost us for next campaign, going into the pre-season and going into next season. So we need to make sure we are at that. Let's have a look at the team news then. 1 second. So the team news is, as we know, McTominay, Maguire and Luke Shaw are out suspended. They picked up yellow cards in that last game, which means they're suspended for this one. Now, I'm glad Maguire, is suspended for this one. Because if he picks up a yellow in this one, if he was still available, and misses the first leg of a semi-final, that's more worrying. You should be able to get through this game without Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw's also suspended. Alex Telles did the press conference with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's clear this is going to be an opportunity for Alex Telles to come in and get a game. And hopefully, prove himself as someone that can or should be playing more often. Obviously, Luke Shaw's in great form at the minute, but we still need all those players knocking on the door. Maguire being out, and Eric Bailly, who is back now, obviously he had COVID, is back in Manchester. He's back with the team, but is out of tomorrow's game. So hopefully he'll be available soon. I'm assuming that's to do with quarantining and all those kind of things. So he's back in Manchester, but he's not available for tomorrow's game. Anthony Martial, we know, is injured. And Rashford sat out training today, as we said. We need to be seeing Rashford wrapped up in cotton wool and not risked in this game. So, sat out the game. Sat out training on Wednesday and is doubtful for the tie. But Daniel James is fit after missing the win at Spurs. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says Axel Tuanzebe is ready for this opportunity. Eric Bailly still being out after his recent COVID test. Harry Maguire suspended. It means that we've got Victor Lindelof and Axel Tuanzebe available. Surely those two are going to start. You're going to see Alex Telles at left back. I'd imagine David De Gea, who played in the first leg, it looks like he's become our Europa League goalkeeper or our Cup goalkeeper, at least at the moment. I imagine he would start. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you'd imagine, would complete the back four. So a strong one on paper, but missing some key elements throughout the season in terms of Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. He says Axel has always been a very positive boy, hard working. Victor and Harry have played well. They've formed a very good partnership. Eric's come in and played really well when he's played. So Axel's chances have been limited, but he's been training well and he's ready for his opportunity. We have to make sure that we go through. I always pick a team that I think will win the game, and I will. We will go into this game wanting to win this. I know Granada will want to come and give it their all, but we want to build on our performances, build momentum. There'll be a few changes, of course. Some of them are forced. Some of them will be rotation. And obviously with a 2-goal lead, we've afforded ourselves the opportunity to, yes, take it seriously, but also maybe, rest a player here and there. Which players would you guys be looking to rest for this fixture? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like and comment and sharing and subscribing. I can already see Stoic Savage, Samoan, Petter, Liam, Dragon, Prashan, Craig, Matthew, all you guys in the comments. So thank you very much for joining us. Chris as well, saying Bruno looks tired, give him a rest. Sorry, we got Burnley at the weekend, haven't I? Did I say Brighton? I think I did. Burnley at the weekend. Still a difficult game, that. Thoughts on the red seat stuff. So for you guys that don't know what's going on with Petter, if you remember back in the day, was it 93, 94, 95 or something like that? I think it was 95 because Gary Neville played in the game. Manchester United played Southampton away and we played in grey shirts. And at half-time, the team changed the shirts because they said that they couldn't see each other on the pitch. Now, if you look at Old Trafford, since we've been without fans and since we've been unable to have fans in the stadium, they've put like these red covering and red advertising hoardings and things with like United slogans and stuff on the pitch, on the seats. So it creates like this red backdrop for the players. And apparently that's been affecting their ability to make those split-second decisions in terms of passes and stuff. Now, some of you might remember a famous clip of Thiago Alcantara when he was at Bayern Munich. And it was a Christmas game, or it was around Christmas. So there's an advertising board with Santa walking across it in a red typical Santa suit. And you see him go up across the advertising hoardings. And Thiago plays a perfect pass for what he thinks is a Bayern Munich player, but it's the Santa on the advertising hoardings. So you can see how those things can affect their split decision. The one game we've had with the new backdrops, with the black backdrops instead of the red, we actually won against Brighton. So whether that's a thing, funny that they've noticed it quite late on. Maybe it just affected a particular game when the lighting was a certain way or, something like that. But it's funny that it's come up. Sean's gone for a predicted 11 of De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Tuanzebe, Telles, Matic, Fred, Mata, Bruno, James and Greenwood. While Ryan's gone for De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Axel, Telles, Pogba, Matic, Mason, Donny, Ahmad and Eddie. Now, check this out. This is my 11. I have opted to rest a few players. Most notably, you're looking at, I've rested Bruno, Rashford, I've given a rest to, and I've gone with David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Tuanzebe and Alex Telles. Then I've gone with Matic and Pogba in the midfield, Van der Beek just ahead of them, Amad Diallo, Daniel James, and Mason Greenwood up top through the middle. That's what team I have gone for. Obviously, I don't feel like Ali's going to pick that. I imagine we'll see Bruno start. Maybe you see Matic, Pogba, Bruno, Daniel James, Mason Greenwood, and Marcus Rashford or something. I don't think he's going to leave Marcus Rashford out if he's available. But if he's being left out of training, you have to do that. But history suggests he's going to start Bruno. And if Rashford says he's fit, he'll start Rashford. And Rashford's not going to say he's unavailable. He's going to have targets in terms of goals and assists and things like that he wants to achieve. But we have to protect him from himself, and we have to make sure that he's fit for the rest of the season and fitter for games that are more important. Obviously, this is important, but 2-0 up against Granada. Should we be looking to rush and force Marcus Rashford back into the team? Should we be saying to Bruno Fernandes that he's not going to be getting a rest? And I know Bruno Fernandes probably don't want a rest, but again, save these players from themselves. You can always bring Bruno Fernandes on, or if Marcus Rashford's on the bench, you can always bring them on if Granada score first or the game's not going quite well. But I don't think there's a reason to start them. Matthew says Scotty over Pogba. McTominay is suspended, remember, but he does also say, I bet he starts Marcus Rashford. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw Marcus Rashford start in this one. That's still a strong 11. Hopefully can get an early goal to kill the game, says Dan. And yeah, that's the luxury of when we have got Van der Beek on the bench, Amad Diallo on the bench, Matic. I know Matic is not at his peak really, but when we've got all these players on the bench, you've got players that can come in and your team still looks strong. Van der Beek's not a bad replacement for Bruno Fernandes at all, is it? Playing Matic Pogba isn't, I think it's probably, it's been stronger at times. I think the win ratio with that midfield higher than McTominay and Fred, or at least it was at one point. Like, they're a good midfield partnership at times. Daniel James, in recent weeks and months for club and country, has looked a lot better. So, get him playing in his stronger position on the left. Amad Diallo on the right. Two natural wingers in their natural positions, right wing and left wing. How long has it been since we've had that? I know Rashford's a great left forward, but we've very rarely had natural width. Matthew says, chance for Donny to show us what he can do in 90 minutes. I doubt he gets 90 minutes. I heard a youth player joined the squad against Granada. You are right. It was Will Fish. I remember watching Will Fish in the Mercedes-Benz Junior Cup for Man United in Germany last year. Will Fish is the latest academy product to be promoted to United Europa League squad. Obviously, we've got defenders Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw unavailable for the quarter-final second leg. So we had to bring somebody else into those defensive positions. He's a centre-half. He's quite tall. He's still eligible for the 18s. He's been a regular in the Premier League 2 side, which is the under-23s. And he's also been in the FA Youth Cup this season. And alongside Anthony Elanga, who was added last week to the B-list Europa League squad, Fish has now been added to it. So doubt he'll be seeing any game time, but it'll be a good experience for him to be able to train with the first team, be in the Europa League squad. Maybe that means he'll go on one of the trips if we're in the semi-final to the semi-final. So yeah, not bad at all for him, is it? Good stuff. Get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing if you can. We hit 100k in the last couple of weeks, but let's see if we can keep it moving. Get hitting that subscribe button. I think one of Rashford or Bruno will play, says Rin. If it's going to be either of them, I imagine it will be Bruno, considering Rashford has sat out training today. But again, like we're saying, wouldn't surprise me if we saw him. Craig says, I love that. 2 natural wingers. We need the width. Will Fish on fire. Pogba and Van der Beek could swap as well, says Connor. Funnily enough, when I first did the 11, I did that. But then I thought, if we were going to play it, we'd probably play Pogba with the more defensive duty than Donny. Let Donny come in and drop into those spaces that he loves to drop into and pulling players out of position and stuff like that. He was crucial in Greenwood's goal. Was it against Brighton? He was crucial in that goal. Wouldn't be all that surprised to see Pogba start on the left, Fred and Matic in midfield, says Christopher. I agree. That's another possibility as well, but I think Fred's probably someone that should be rested. He's clearly someone that will start most Premier League games. So with that in mind, probably look to leave him out. Pogba is one booking away from a suspension for the semi-final, I think. So you probably look to protect him as well. Maybe take him off early in the second half if we're going through and if he's not been booked yet. Are there rules about fielding weak teams in the Europa League, says Hassan? I imagine if there were, they would have been broken a long time ago by loads of different teams, so I doubt it. Would play Brandon for Wan-Bissaka, but I know it's not going to happen. This is Dragon in there. Good shout. You might actually see that happen. I just feel when you're changing your left back and your centre back, he's probably not going to change his right back as well, but who knows? Maybe he could do that. Wan-Bissaka never gets rested. It's true. And some of those players, you look at Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof when he's fit, to be fair. Obviously, he's had a few back issues this season. McTominay and Fred, these are players that very rarely get rested. They get rotated, yes, but he'll often play them continuously. Bruno's another one. Rashford's another one. You need that kind of consistency in team selection. It helps you, but I think at times he has maybe got it wrong. Like in the last Real Sociedad game at Old Trafford, Bruno started was a baffling one. Leachin says, I don't like Donny's positioning off the ball when he plays 10. I disagree. I think it's one of his best things. If you go and look at Mason Greenwood's goal against Brighton, Donny van der Beek is proper influential in the goal, even without touching the ball. Just his movement is very, very good. You'll find that United's players probably ain't quite on the same wavelength at time. I think Bruno and Mata and those kind of players are. But some of the positions that he picks up when he's on the pitch are really good. And they're not always selfish. Like he'll make runs for his teammates, which help as well. Tabraj Ali says, thoughts on the Rice links this morning. Yeah, I'll do another video on that, which will be up soon. I'd rather see Arsenal than Slavia Prague in the final. Not gonna lie, I feel like give me. I don't want to play an English team in the final. Leaves it too open. Anything can happen. Siam says Victor Lindelof's heading game has improved over the past couple of games. He has had some proper good clearances and he's played well at times. He did obviously. Could argue he made a mistake for their goal, but he has shown some signs of improvement. So fair play to him. Did an interview yesterday with Giuseppe Rossi, which is coming up on Stretford Paddock. I think it's going to be up next Tuesday. So make sure you're keeping your eyes and ears peeled for that one. Another good interview. I spoke to him for about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and it was a pretty good chat. So make sure you're keeping your ears and eyes peeled for that. It's going to be a good one. And I heard some stuff from Rossi that I never knew before, so it's proper interesting. I think we should play Van der Beek in the DM so they can get used to the role, as that's his best chance of getting in the first team regularly. This is Connor. Interesting. Do I have news about Phil Jones? No news about Phil Jones, mate. I don't think we'll ever get news about Phil Jones. It's just his last link with West Ham and a reunion with David Moyes, which, everything else seems to be working for David Moyes at the moment, so it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I can't see United getting money for him. We're just going to have to let him go on a free, or we're going to be paying his wages or something like that. Would love to see Axel get a run in the teams as you, and even Bailly's struggling to get a run in the team. Now, I think that spot next to Maguire isn't really cemented yet. And I do think they've all got talent. Bailly's got talent, Lindelof, Axel. But one of them needs to step forward. It looks like at the moment that's going to be Lindelof, and Ali trusts him, but also linked with us buying a new one. Hassan says, love your content. Who's your favourite non-United player growing up? R9. Ronaldo, always wanted him to sign for Manchester United. I met him in Cannes as well, and I remember meeting him and just losing my head. R9 is defo top one non-United player. Ronaldinho after him. I used to like Batistuta as well, Inzaghi. There's a lot of good players, but yeah, defo Ronaldo, R9. Nice one, Deem James. Yeah, if you've joined us late, make sure you're hitting rewind on the video, checking out the earlier bits as well for the full preview for Manchester United Granada. There's only one thing left to do, isn't it? And that is my prediction. I am going for I think with the changes to the team, it'll be probably a while before we get ticking and get going. But I'll go with a 2-1 win for Manchester United. That's what I'd go with. So yeah, a 2-1 win for the Reds. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. Keep it locked to AdamMcKola TV. We'll have loads more coming your way as well. Tomorrow we'll have reaction. I'll do another news video where we'll talk about that Declan Rice stuff and all that. We're on the Stretford Paddock watch along, so join us for that too. Until then, I'm out of here.